Hi everyone, welcome to the video. Today I'll be reviewing the match which finished between Parramatta and Penrith, round 16 of the 2021 NRL Telstra Premiership. It was second against third, Penrith in second, Parramatta in third place. The match was played at Penrith Park, or as it's known now, Bluebet Stadium there. The match was played behind closed doors. Initially, I heard a rumour that 12,000 people were going to be allowed to attend, but it was only going to be Penrith fans and Penrith members, because all Parramatta fans had their tickets refunded and they were told not to attend the game. But in the end, it was played behind closed doors on the Friday night. The match finished 13 points to 12 in Penrith's favour. Try scorers for Parramatta were Micah Sivo, 22nd minute, Isaiah Papali'i, 41st minute, and Mitchell Moses kicked a penalty goal in that second half. For Penrith, their try scorers were Tyrone Mee, 34th minute, Apasai Coruscant, 51st minute, and Matt Burton got a field goal in the 79th minute. So I'm just going to give me thoughts on this match. It started off with a bit of an arm wrestle for that first 20 minutes or so. It was a game where I didn't really expect it to start off that way, but it did, with the amount of sort of clunkiness and attack with both sides, the errors that both sides were coming up with. It was a bit of a scrappy game to begin with, but for the most part the defence was there for both sides. We got the deadlock broken though with Micah Sivo, 22nd minute. The try come off a kick and then a back by Wonga Blake, and it was almost like a basketball try, you could say, because the way that Wonga Blake tapped the ball back and then it went on to Sivo and how he scored, it kind of reminded me of a basketball try. And then right before half time, as what happens with most times when Parramatta play that have been coached under Brad Arthur, for some reason we can see the try right before half time. Tyrone Mee, 34th minute, he crosses over. I thought the try was very soft. He just seemed to just break through one tackle. I think it was a one-on-one tackle. Isaiah Papali'i missed him and Tyrone Mee crosses over. So at the break it was 6 points to 4. It was anyone's match. Both sides certainly had to be better in the second half though. That first half was pretty ordinary from both sides. And going into the second half, we started off the better, and in the 41st minute, Mitchell Moses picks up a kick. Charlie Staines is a bit indecisive. He lets the ball bounce, which is something that you should never do when you're a fullback in rugby league or a winger. And Isaiah Papali'i regathers the ball and he scores underneath the post. And Mitchell Moses converts that, and then in the 51st minute, Apasai Coruscant scores for Penrith. Once again, it was a very soft try that Parramatta conceded. This time, Apasai Coruscant just seemed to run into space that it just seemed to appear out of nowhere. And on the replay, he just went around Sean Lean like Sean Lean wasn't there, and he scores next to the post. So it was 12 points to 10 at that stage, and then Mitchell Moses kicks a penalty goal after one of our players was... It looked like he lost the ball, but on the replay the ball was stripped, and that made it 12-all, and it stayed that way for the next 20 minutes of the match. Parramatta did have some chances to kick a field goal or to do something, but they for some reason didn't decide to do that. And before Matt Burton actually kicked the field goal in the 79th minute, he had a shot before that. This one ricocheted against the post and bounced back into the field of play. Mitchell Moses and the other Parramatta players still didn't attempt to do a field goal, and Matt Burton got the field goal right before full time there, 79th minute. I was thinking to myself, we need a miracle if we're going to win this game now. There's only about 30 seconds left, and we were given that miracle maybe by someone out there watching from above, and it was deemed that Wonga Blake was taken out from trying to contest the ball. Mitchell Moses had a shot from about 40 yards out. It was, you could see on a bit of an angle, it wasn't directly in front, but it was a fair distance away, and he kicked it to the left of the upright, and the full-time whistle went. 13 points to 12 in front in favour of Penrith there. There was some people on Facebook and that saying that, oh, my 5-year-old could kick that goal or whatever, but I think it wasn't exactly the angle, it was the distance, and you could see when the ball was being kicked that the wind blew it away. But it finished 13 points to 12. Penrith get the win there. Parramatta, we did have chances to win that match. There was a couple of half chances that we did with no tries. First half, before Sivo scored that try, Wonga Blake had a no try. He knocked the ball on when he was trying to put the ball down after Gutherson grubbed it. And Sibbo had a chance in the second half there. Gutherson threw the ball to him, and he sort of dove through the air, but he lost control of the ball. That could have gone another way. For us, we had an 80% completion rate in this match, but we also had 31 missed tackles, and we had 11 errors, so that's something that's not very good, especially when you're trying to compete for the Premiership. But in seeing that Penrith had similar kind of stats, they had a lot of errors as well, a lot of missed tackles. Some of our players that I thought did well tonight: Isaiah Papali'i, 162 metres, 4 offloads and a try. Nathan Brown, 140 metres. Regan Campbell-Gillard, 138 metres. Michael Sibbo, 137 metres and a try. Some of the players that didn't play well tonight: Sean Lane, he was the passenger tonight. Tom Opacek wasn't good, he didn't do much, he had 3 errors, but we found out before kick-off that his brother was killed in a car accident, I believe, so I can understand why he wasn't mentally there and why he didn't play well. And Mitchell Moses, now apparently I don't watch State of Origin, but apparently with Nathan Cleary out, Mitchell Moses was in contention for that New South Wales shirt for Game 3. I've always been a critic of Mitchell Moses. I think Mitchell Moses is a good player, but he's not a top tier player. And I think he's a player that he can get you to the finals, he can get you up there, but he can't take you to the next level. He's that type of a player. And when I heard his name being mentioned for State of Origin, I went, why? There is one YouTuber out there by the name of Paddy G who thinks he knows better than me and goes, oh, Moses, he's young, he'll develop, he'll be this good player, blah blah blah. No, he won't. I'm a Parramatta fan, I watch them week in, week out, I know what the crack is. So with Moses being mentioned for State of Origin, that was a bit of a head scratcher. Tonight was his audition and he failed. He only had 5 runs, he didn't take on the line much. He missed that penalty goal right at the end, which could have won the game for Parramatta. Not saying it was an easy kick, but with Mitchell Moses, I've noticed that when the games are on the line and it's crunch time, he rarely delivers. He rarely delivers as a Parramatta player, and before when he was a West Tigers player. This is about the 3rd or 4th time in his career I can remember where there's been a clutch kick and he's missed it. I think there was one in 2018 where it was a kick from the sideline, he missed that to take the game in extra time. There was the kick against South Sydney in the elimination final last year, and then there was this one. So I don't think that Mitchell Moses will ever play State of Origin. I said that a couple of years ago, I don't think he'll ever play State of Origin. I was reading some of the comments online by some of the supporters of other teams. Then you got this Gobshite, he's another YouTuber, Beanie Sports. He said Penrith are nothing without Nathan Cleary, even though they won tonight. And he said Parramatta are pretenders. Pretenders, we beat your team Melbourne, the full strength Melbourne team this year. We're one of the only teams that have beaten Melbourne. So how are we pretenders? I'm not saying that Parramatta will win the Premiership, but we're certainly not pretenders, and we're not in the top 4 by fluke. Honestly, I fucking can't stand Beanie Sports. I'd kill him if I lived in Australia. I'd literally fly to Perth and kill him. I don't care if I get in trouble for seeing that in the video. I'd fucking punch his head in. I'd cave his fucking head in. I can't stand him. But for him to see that, it just boils me piss. And then you get a couple of South fans having a laugh, saying Parramatta are pretenders. Your team got beaten by the team that we lost tonight by 1 point. You lost 56 points to 12 against Penrith. 56-12. Let that sink in. But anyway, our next game is not next week, it's in a fortnight's time. It's against the Gold Coast on the Friday at Seaboard Super Stadium. So we get the bye next week, we get a chance to review what happened, and we get to maybe look over what we can do better and what we can work on. But anyway, that's my video for tonight. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, let me know in the comment section below. And anyway, this is Rugby League History getting out of here, and I'll catch us all later in the next one. Alright, tatty bye now.